Whoa.
That's fire, Bobby.
Bobby, well done. Well done. That's
like
nice.
It's like a Transformer scene, dude.
Hey, don't let my boy get hot with the behind the scenes shit.
Yo, I take a little work trip. I come back and our tech is vamped. Let's go.
Yeah. Always working, baby. Always moving forward.
Hey, always be closing, Bobby. Hell yeah. How we doing, boys?
Beautiful.
How you
Beautiful
feeling,
day.
Buddy? You got a nice little fade over there. Is that a new haircut?
No, just tying it up just a little bit, bud.
Ooh,
just the lettuce for the summer. It's like don't want to get it caught on the surfboard. You know how it goes.
Smidge. Oh yes, mazzles to our very own Joe Robbie, who's going to be a girl dad.
Woo!
Listen, boys, the drinking starts today.
You're drinking green now, bud.
Yeah. And listen, girl dads drink bourbon.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Brother, I'm so excited to be a dad, man. It's something I've been wanting for a very long time. Everything happens for a reason. My wife's super excited. She's been feeling great. We're feeling great. We're focused. I'm locked in. Yeah, we're ready, dog. We are ready.
You have, I know I can speak just from my experience talking to Joe Robbie about it. You wanted a baby for years, dude. You had baby fever for like 3 years, man.
In it.
You're like, man, I need to have a baby. So I'm stoked
bad,
for
dude.
you, man. You had that baby fever.
And it's crazy because, like, even though I had the baby fever, obviously I love my wife. I respect my wife. Like, whenever she's ready, I'm ready, right? Yeah. It doesn't bother me at all.
Sure.
But the cool part about this was, like, we still weren't ready, and it happened, and it's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's shout out to the people who have to fucking work really hard, and, God forbid, they have to take different routes. Like, that's why everything that comes to you is a blessing, man. You got to count it as a blessing. So, yeah, bro, let's be daddy. It's time to be daddy.
The cool thing about getting pregnant is, like, you sit there and wait for the perfect time is never going to happen. So, like, you want a kid, just have a kid, man. That's how we try to, the whole, like, schedule thing the first time around. The second time around, I was like, all right, ready for a kid? We want a second kid? Let's just do it. Let's not worry about how things are lining up personally. Let's just have a kid, because there's never a perfect time to have a kid.
Well, Eric, with that being said, my boy, and by the way, shout out to Eric. He was there for my gender reveal.
Super it was dope.
It was super dope. I appreciate you coming, brother. Love you.
Always,
with that being said, let's roll that fucking tape, Eric.
Yeah. So, guys, tonight we got none other than Miami's very own John Miller, former NFL guard, drafted in 2015 by the Bills after playing at Louisville. Yeah, boo Bills, but got drafted by them. So we definitely got to ask about the wing situation. Yeah, we're excited to roll with John. Now he's going to cut it up with us. So without further ado, shall we?
Let's do it.
Also, go Cats.
I'm putting the helmet on as always.
The opportunity is right now.
Terrific defensive play. Intercepted. From the ball off the block. Two on the move. Going deep. Speed race. He's got Hill. He's got Hill. The Dolphins have recaptured the lead.
Big John.
What it do? How we doing?
What's going on, my brother? How's everything today, man?
Everything's everything, man. Blessed to be alive.
Yeah, we sorry about those boos from all those Dolphins.
I
don't know who that was, but I do apologize for that.
It was low-key tough watching that intro, man, but we got through it. We got through it.
Hey, don't lie though, the intro cooks.
It cooks. No, it's fire. it's just something about that orange. Whatever.
Yeah. We're getting fired up in the live chat here. We had Sony Michelle on not too long ago, and now they're like, you got a Patriot, and now you got a Bill on here. What are you doing? No,
crazy. Hey, but you know where they're from? They're all from Miami, where it all starts.
Yep.
Baby.
There you go, 305, baby, Dade County.
Yep.
So. Yes, sir. So for everybody that doesn't know, I actually met John via Nick from Perform, and funny enough, I got a funny story. I don't even know if John remembers this story. It's gonna be a good one. So John and I happen to love a place called CJ Black's. And I'm with Pops. It was a Friday early afternoon, maybe like 2, 3 o'clock. And we were drinking. And I peeped John in the corner of the bar, and I'm like, oh, I know him from Perform. That's John Miller. I said, I'm going to go say what's up. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to bother him. If anybody who knows my dad don't give a shit. Bro, you know him? Brings John a tequila shot. Are you remembering this?
Yeah, I remember this.
My pops brings, hey, Jay questions nothing, shoots the tequila. We end up kicking it with him for a couple hours. It was a good time, man. But appreciate you having you on the dive bar today, bro. For everybody who don't know, John's good people, man. Seriously, good people.
I appreciate that, bro. Likewise, right back at you. I appreciate you guys for having me on and sending me the invite.
Russell, where do we even start, Ghost?
You know, the first thing I have to ask. Like, we got to start right with the football. We got to start right with the Buffalo Bills. You got to play with, Superman himself, Josh Allen. He loves ruining our lives like every single year.
Jeez.
What does he do so well, man? Like, you also got to see like a little bit of early Josh Allen too, before like this MVP type Josh Allen, to see where he's gotten, where he is now compared to where he was when you play with him. Like, what does he do different? How is he, man?
Man, I can sit here and I can tell you so much about Josh. And like you alluded to, I got to see him kind of early on in his early stages. I remember this game. We was on the road at Minnesota. I forget what happened, but he ended up getting in, and he took us down the drive, and he hurdled over Hendricks. Literally just hurdled the guy, cleared them. And then I think on that same drive, we go down there and he dove into the corner of the end zone, hit the pylon. And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? Little kid from Wyoming. I'm like he knows this kid, but he was always just a competitor. Like, you can see the fire in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Always a competitor. He's a locker room guy. He encourages, he uplifts the guys. Honestly, he's a winner. Mm-hmm. He's a winner. He's accurate with the football. He's tall. He's athletic. He's big. It's hard to get him down. One person can't tackle him. D tackle, linebacker. Forget about sending a corner blitz. He's smart. He take care of the football. Now in his later days, you'll see him not make as many mistakes and interceptions that he did in the past. But he's a natural competitor. Mm-hmm. He go out there and he get it in for sure.
Man, that just hurts to hear. I don't have any rebuttal to it, because look, we spent, it's almost like the Brady effect, right? Like, we spent so many years trying to hate Josh Allen. Then not only do you see like how he plays on the football field, you see him as a human. You're like, damn, this dude's so hard to hate, man. This dude's cool. He's one of the boys. Like, it is tough, and it's always like that for us as a Dolphins fan. It's tough. It is tough. Did you guys ever kick it like off the field and stuff like that?
I was there. I was there for 4 years, and I think I got to play like the last 2 years with him. Me and the guys will always hang out. Big up, shout out to E Wood, Richie Incognito, Shady, LaShawn McCoy, my boy D-Dot. We was always, hanging out and, having some drinks and stuff. Just, what guys do, what it was after the game, stuff like that. Meeting up at somebody's house, just hanging out, kicking back, talking shit and talking about what we thought we could have did better. Or if we won that game, we was talking shit and just kind of, hanging out with the guys, man. It was always good times for sure.
You brought up Richie Incognito. He has quite the reputation in general, but especially for Dolphins, because the bully gate and everything. And then recently Jonathan Martin came out and kind of said that was kind of like made up. His parents kind of pushed that or something. He had a lot to say about that and like kind of felt liberated, understandably. Kind of talk about like Richie as a teammate and stuff. Like, what's it like being in the locker room with Richie?
I heard all those stories, man. When I was getting drafted, all the people was like, he's a bully, he's this and that. I said, man, listen, at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man. I'm coming here to play football, coming in here to compete. But I can speak to his character. Richie he's a phenomenal guy. Like he's one of the boys. He's one of the guys. You can pretty much talk to him about anything. You know, when it came to football, Richie, he was always dialed in. I learned so much from Richie and Eric Wood. You know, those guys taught me techniques, steps, how to use my hands, inside, outside hands, techniques, where my eyes need to be, blitz pickups, you know, working together on combination blocks, backside, front side. So, you know, you hear different things. And then when you meet the actual person, you're like, man, I don't know why they would do something like that, or why they would say something like that, you know. So you have to be careful, you know, about listening to the media, because the media can put, you know, spin on anything or portray a person to be, you know, one way. You know, I trained out in Hermosa Beach in California with Richie. I actually trained Richie probably like 2 off seasons. You know, I met his brother, I met his family. You know, I don't have nothing bad to say about the guy, because Richie has always been, you know, a stud, and always been one of those guys, you know, that, you know, when your back against the wall, you know, you can count on him.
Hey, we got people in the chat hating on that beat, man.
Our boy Drew.
Hey, listen, fire alarms happen, bro, or smoke alarms happen. We'll get it changed, Drew. We'll get it changed. Don't worry about it.
That my beat or what?
I did get to your beat. I listen. I wasn't gonna say. I was gonna take the fall for you.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, it's a black thing, man. You know, we let that motherfucker beat. We get to the point, bro. No, seriously. We get to the point where like we so immune to it. You know, we don't even pay attention. It's funny because the doors closed. It's the one outside of my room. But yeah, I that's why I was like, that's my beat. I tune that shit out so much.
Hey, John, I got news for you. It's not a black thing. My wife yells at me. I'll let that thing beep forever, bro. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think that's a male trait.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll just be like, well, all right, I'm not changing the bad spot.
No, I'm not getting that ladder out the garage right now.
No,
so we're gonna live with the beat.
Yeah.
Call Blue Collar Joe. He'll fix it for you. He'll fix it for you.
Hey, and John knows I'm in construction. I'm still not getting on that ladder after hours.
Man.
It's not happening.
I gotta ask John, because we talk about it every season, especially, you know, we've been talking about it you know, since the last time that Buffalo came to Miami and we were able to beat them in that game where it was about 140 degrees on the field. Being a Miami native and then playing up in Buffalo, playing up in Cincinnati, is it different? Is it different for those traveling teams, for those warm weather teams going up there, or like you block that out? Like, of course, you know, we get the media answers. You know, when we're watching, you know, ESPN, we're watching, you know, the post game interviews. We went out there, we did the best we could. You know, it doesn't bother us. It's got to bother you a little bit, right? If you're a warm weather team traveling up there in January.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, growing up here, you know, I'm a tropical guy. I like the heat. You know, I like to be in the sun and all that good stuff. And obviously I played football down here. Then I went to Louisville. Louisville ain't that bad. They don't really get that nippy. But when I went to Buffalo, I was like, this is different. Like, this is different. You know, you get that lake effect from Lake Erie and everything like that. And the winters there is absolutely brutal. You know, and shit, we got to psych ourselves out, you know, to get ready for the game. Even though we up here, we playing it. You know, some coaches, they hire the guys inside. You know, Coach McDermott, you know, if that wasn't an absolute need to be inside, we was outside in the cold, the snow shoved off to the side. So we was getting it in. So it's definitely a mind trick when you go out there, you know, and you coming from Miami or Tampa or whatever, anywhere, you know, in South Florida, and you traveling up there to New York, you like, man, it's freezing. You know, some guys try to go out there, you know, be doing pregame, take their shirt off, then they'll go back inside. They'll put all the little grease on, try to warm up. You know, we had this rule, man, when I was in Buffalo. They say, nah, we're not wearing no long sleeves. If you came out there with long sleeves, go back inside, take it off. So it's just a mentality that you have to be willing to put yourself through that. But for the opposing team, absolutely, it's brutal. And people say, why didn't Buffalo? They building this new stadium. Why they didn't put a dome on there? It's like, nah, we gonna let it snow. Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely tough.
Yeah, that's like when they ask Miami to put shade on the visitor side. They're not doing that. It's part of the game. We need some advantages. I'm sorry.
100%. And vice versa. Those guys hate coming down here to this heat, man. Now you got to overhydrate. You know, you got to worry about pulling the hamstring. You know, so it goes both ways. It's not. I mean, sometimes South Florida it get a little cooler during December, January, but it still plays in your mind for sure.
Now they're building a new stadium and it doesn't have a roof. However, it does look like a toilet.
What was that? What it look like?
A toilet.
Is that a new word from North Carolina or Louisiana by you? The toilet?
Toilet?
It looks like a toilet.
Hey, Bobby's got that twang to him, bro.
Love it, dude.
Bobby, what you sipping on, man?
Oh, that's a little Elijah Craig private barrel.
Nice. Okay. Nice. John, I gotta ask you. I know that when we bring the NFL players on here, we love hearing about their careers and everything. But obviously, at some point, football comes to an end, and you got your hands in just about everything here. Talk about some of your businesses. Obviously, you got entrepreneur, under your name there. I want to give you a chance to talk about your businesses and life after football, making that transition. Was it difficult, and is it something that you planned on while you were in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something that I had planned on while I was in the league. My agent at the time, well, he's kind of still my agent now, was Drew Rosenhaus, and he had a guy that he worked with named Rob Bailey. And Rob Bailey always told me, he said, listen, I want you to be smart. I care about you and pops and everything like that. What I would advise you to do is, try to buy at least 1 or 2 properties every offseason. So I kind of took that advice. At the time, my dad, he was already into like fix and flipping single family houses. Mm-hmm. So, at the time I didn't have my real estate license. So I would come down, my first off season, I bought a condo. Then the next off season, I bought a condo, which is doing very well. I still have both of those condos now. And then I was like, man, I want to jump out there and maybe do more. And so that kind of gave me that light introduction into real estate. And then I invested in, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. Whether we was fixing and flipping them to sell them, put them back on the market, we was just kind of going in there, the vacant units, doing some soft renovations, bringing them up to market value and stuff like that. So that went pretty well for me. And then we kind of transpired into what we call big boy level. So we purchased vacant land in Davie, Southwest Ranches, and we build and develop from the ground up. Me and my dad, we have our construction company called MHG Constructions. So that's been going well. We actually have 4 acres that we're about to develop. It's going to be single family homes, probably about 6 to 7 bedrooms, maybe 6 bath. It's going to be over 5,500 square foot. It's going to be built right over by Western High School. So it's in a great area. So that kind of took me into getting my license, because once we closed on one of the properties we built, and I seen the HUD statement, I'm like, wow, this agent got $60,000. That's absolutely insane. Just off one transaction, one day we sold the house a little shy of $4 million, and I was like, man, I got to get this back in. Then at the time I was with Jetsville back in 2022, they ended up cutting me actually Thanksgiving Eve. Man, I had the family drive up and everything. And I still remember this. They was like, yeah, the GM want to talk to you. I'm like, nah, save me the speech. I already know the deal. It's like, oh, we just want to reimburse your flight. I said, nah, I'm driving. And so, going through that transition, which a lot of guys struggle with, is that mental health aspect of it. We work in this space where people call a game, and they only see Sundays. They don't see the grind. I've been playing football since I was 7. So that transition for me was a little tough. It was good to kind of get in a book, so to speak, and, study, go and take the test. And now, I tried to do real estate on my own for about 3 months when I initially got my license last year. And it was tough. I was spinning my wheels, didn't know where to start. So I said, let me join the team. And I actually joined the Rose Group by Douglas Elliman, spearheaded by our team leader, Phil Rose, who's been, doing real estate for over 10 years. So we're part of the sports and entertainment division inside of Douglas Elliman. And so, yeah, it's been a little slow as far as moving the listings, but we do have 17 active listings. I know that was a little long-winded, but.
And that's why we're here. Yeah. There's no such thing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's kind of funny. We love the long-winded because we love hearing, we want to hear everything. We want to hear every single piece to it. And, when we're trying to pry answers out of players or guests, it gets kind of difficult on our end because we aren't professional podcasters, if you haven't noticed by now. But no, we appreciate that. And that's really cool. And I didn't know that I think Joe Robbie knew, but I didn't know that your agent was Drew Rosenhaus. He obviously represents a lot of the Dolphins that are on the roster right now. How is he as an agent? Because he's obviously a huge name. Don't really get to hear a lot about him, but give you a chance to talk about Drew a little bit.
Oh man, Drew's amazing. I still remember that first meeting we had with Drew. He sat in my living room with me and my pops, and he was just like, "Look, I can't promise you anything, but what I can tell you is that I'm gonna do the absolute best I can to get you drafted as high as I can." And Drew's one of those agents, man. He's been around for maybe over 30 years, and he's done hit so many generations.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of built, Rosenhaus Sports as he went on. And he don't really take a lot of clients. He don't really take on a lot of guys. He may have every year maybe 5 to 10 guys, and he always have a first round pick. Always, it never fails, which is awesome. It's good for him. But he's a family man. He loves his family. I think he got like 3 or 4 kids now. And so he's always busy. He's always grinding. But yeah, I'm grateful for him because without him, a lot of guys nowadays try to do it without an agent. As we know that can get a little tough and difficulty. So it was good to have him because he's a household name, somebody who can sit inside those meetings with the GMs and owners and lobby for you and be like, no, this is why you need this guy, because we don't have that, that one-on-one, that contact that somebody like a Drew stature would, for sure.
Now, this can be a personal experience or just something you've heard. What's the craziest, what's the best way to say this? Power move you've ever heard Rosenhaus did, as an agent?
As far as what?
Getting a player traded or getting a guy signed somewhere, I
mean, honestly, he done did so many crazy deals to the point where it's hard to just pinpoint one. He did crazy deals, crazy numbers with a lot of guys, for sure.
Yeah, it's no longer crazy when it's just what you do as a person, and it's what you do as that's what you're known for. That's just what he does.
I can't even keep up with it, man. It's just too many guys, for real.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, contracts nowadays are crazy.
Man, crazy. $265 million, crazy.
Yep.
181 guaranteed.
Hey, shout out to guards making 20 mil a year now, though.
I know, man. I know. I'm like, damn, I need to put a call in for real.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Hey, y'all know somebody down in Miami? Let me know.
My body's a temple.
I'm down the rock for the home team.
I don't know. John did tell me backstage he lost 50, so he might be a fullback now.
Nah, definitely no fullback. I'm 295. I just leaned out.
There you go.
Strength is still there. I went from 336. 346. Sorry, man.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's the heaviest I ever been. Yeah, for sure.
What's crazy is that weight would fit beautifully in McDaniel's scheme.
Yeah,
I'd be able to move in this offense, cuz. Let's go.
I think Brewer is only 290. I think he's 290. He plays at 290.
Put me in, man.
Hey, so speaking of guards, why, I've noticed in the league, it seems to be, I don't want to say a dying breed, but the depth in the league is so minute now. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, what do you think the issue is with that?
With the depth?
It's just so thin.
Yeah, it's a very thin line. Guard is a thin position now.
Yeah, I think part of it, man, is is the injuries. A lot of these guys that you may draft, I think when I got drafted, I was maybe one of 3 guys that actually started and played as a true rookie. I know Shaq Mason, who played for New England, he started. I started right out of the gates. It's just a lapse as far as the technical issues. You have to be technical sound, so your technique is going to carry. When you in high school and college, you playing with people of your age group, so you just go out there, throw these guys around. You maybe you don't have to use your inside hand. Your footwork ain't got to be up to par. Man, when you get in the trenches with grown men and you go out there as a rookie or a second year guy who don't really have that experience, you 23, 24 years old and you lined up against Ndamukong Suh, and you lined up against these beasts, Aaron Donald, you lined up against these guys, you're like, oh shit, it's real. That guy on the other side of the ball, he get paid a lot of money to go and hunt. And he get, he had to feed his family. He's 33 years old. He's a 10-year vet. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. So it's the technical part of it. It's the speed of the game as well. Because those guys is fast. I mean, 300, 330, 350, whatever, they are running. So it's the speed of the game. It's the technical part of it, and then is also we play in the trenches, so you're more prone to injuries.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've always wondered because I feel like guard is such an important position, but it's obviously the offensive line really never gets featured. But I realized that after late, like your offense really only goes as far as your offensive line takes you. And I don't know if you grew up a Dolphin fan being from down here. Did you by any chance? I don't mean to put you on the spot. That's all good.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. Man, listen, my family was, they big Dolphins fans. I actually grew up watching. I wouldn't say I was a fan of the team per se. I grew up watching, Tom Brady and Randy Moss and those guys. Yeah,
heard that. Yeah, so like maybe you don't know, but 90% of our issue is our trenches.
For years.
And so this year, we invested heavily into the trenches. I'm hoping it pays off. It should pay off. And I just wanted to know your perspective on that. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like offense and defense only goes as far as the trenches take you.
Yeah, no, I definitely would say that, you got to have the guys up front. It's different from the coaching standpoint where, you got to coach this player because he's the right corner, the left end. When it comes to offensive line, it's a cohesiveness. Everybody have to be on the same page. You have to have a smart center. You have to have length at the tackle position to kind of keep the depth of the width of the pocket, and you have to have big, strong, stout guys, to kind of, so they don't get pushed back. So it definitely starts with the trenches. If you got a good O-line and you got a good D-line, man, you can win a lot of ball games. But a lot of people get away from the basics. They want to reinvent the wheel. They want to get flashy. They want the quarterback to go out here and throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. It's like, no, run the damn ball. Put it on our back. So that's the mentality you have to have. It's no secret. The way to win the football game, man, is to possess the clock, control the line of scrimmage. There's no secret sauce. You can have a subpar, quarterback. If you got a great offensive line who can give him an extra tick, that's good. And then you have an offensive line where you're averaging 5.5 yards per carry, even 3.5 per carry. I like my odds to run the ball on 4th and short. You feel me?
How familiar are you with the Dolphins' current offensive line?
Not familiar at all. I know they drafted, I forget where he played from.
Jonas Avainaya.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna try to pronounce it.
Nah,
gotcha. I've been practicing.
Man. Appreciate you, Goes. Yeah. Now that
I've been practicing.
He's gonna. I think me personally, I haven't watched him enough. I did watch him, little glimpses and pieces. Just by the size alone, I think he's gonna be a freak of nature. You get this kid some type of technique. You get him some good coaching, and if he can play up to that speed of the game, he can get everything right as far as the mental aspect of it. I think he's gonna have a long career, hopefully in Miami. But he's gonna be a beast if he get the right coaching for sure.
Now you've been in these rooms. You've been in these rooms before. How big of a hit is it when a guy like Teron Armstead leaves?
Whew, man, that's a big hit. That's the left tackle spot, man. That's the blind side. Well, I think Tua is left-handed, but even just missing that presence, in the locker room, in the meeting room, really where it comes down to just somebody to go to the young guy and say, hey, I think you should do this. Hey, I seen that second step, do this, flash your hands, hit them with the inside, or stab them like this, or flip your hands and grab, so it get real technical in the trenches, but just the presence alone, not having him on a depth chart, not having him in the locker room, not having him in the meeting rooms, I think that's going to be a position that's going to show that they're going to have a little vulnerability there. And I think that they're going to have to find somebody to fill those shoes eventually, hopefully sometime soon.
Yeah, we got a long road ahead of us, my bro.
It's just that leadership role, and I don't think people give a lot of credence to realize like how cerebral and how intelligent you need to be to play in the offensive line in the NFL. College you can get away with athleticism, you can get away with some basics, which is still complicated with some different schemes. But when you get to the NFL, like it's a whole nother ballgame when it comes to the mentals on the offensive line. How was that transition coming from college into the NFL? Was there any surprises where you're like, this is a lot more in depth than I ever imagined it to be?
It was a little different from the standpoint of the scheme, the complexity of it.
The verbiage.
The verbiage. A lot of these coaches, they come from that West Coast verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
They come from different lineage of coaches who teach the same verbiage and everything like that. So as far as scheme wise, if you came from a team that ran wide zone, you can pretty much grasp it a lot easier. But if you came from a team who never been on a center and everything's in shotgun, then you have to worry about snap counts, cadence, because in college, everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You mean to tell me for 4 years you just clapped?
Right. So, and a lot of the hardest part of it for me that I would speak to is the protection. Those protection means is dialed in. You see those safety rotations. You see the cornerback cheated. If we on the short side of the field, if we on the boundary and he's sitting there looking like a deer in the headlights, okay, we know he coming. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know your protection, whether it's 50 protection, 5-man protection, 60 protection, that's 60-man protection, 70-man protection. You have max protection, slide protection, man side. So it gets real complex. You have your play actions on the backside. Maybe we manned up. Maybe the fullback is involved after the fake. The timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's involved in that. So, a lot of people want to get O-line shit. These receivers, they can't. Nah, we gotta get over quick, man. We got time to dance around.
Shout out Jerry Judy with
that. We got time to dance around, man. So everybody's a part of that meeting. And so, the quarterback is the captain. He's the one calling the shots. He's the one after the center give a general mic point. It's like Mike 52. And the quarterback, you might see some shit. He might say, hey, alert. Lucky. They're gonna slide to the left. And that's the biggest piece of it is the understanding in moment you have to change your call. And that might get a little chaotic for some guys and might make their head spin, but that's the biggest piece because we get paid, a lot of money to protect that quarterback.
And as dumb as it might sound, what if you don't hear the quarterback, bro, because it's so loud?
Man, you better tap somebody. What did he say? What Nah, it was some times where the center just standing there. He's cold. And everybody looking at him like, bro, you don't hear this shit? He's like, flag on the center. Or it might be to the point where he snapped the ball and everybody moved. The quarterback ain't said nothing. So it get hard to hear, man. It get hard to hear.
That's got to be the funniest when you're watching live is when you can see the center snapping the ball and moving and no one else. But when the guard and tackles on both sides take off and the center's like,
he's like, wait, I missed something. Like, what the we ready to go.
I love how the center stays frozen sometimes, stays in his stance. Like, I didn't move. It's like you should have moved.
I'll start on you except everybody else.
Hey, would you say center's the hardest position on the line?
Man, absolutely. Hands down. That's why I say you have to be a smart cat. You have to be smart. You have to be, you have to be quick, especially with a team that run wide zone. You got to snap that ball. That's the first task. Don't you do shit unless you get the ball to the quarterback, and that's hard. Snapping the ball and blocking a 300-pound guy. That's hard. But when it comes to the pass protection, you do have a little bumper here and there. the guard got his hand up, making sure you good. His eyes out here. He can feel that presence. But just the every snap, it starts with you. Nothing happens, nothing operates if you don't get the quarterback the ball. And that's a lot of responsibility. And then you have to call out the mic point. You have to be in tune with the protection. You got to say, okay, this run game, he's the mic. All right, we're going to go single here. And then you got to get everybody on the same page. So, yes, the quarterback's the captain, but you the co-captain.
Everything you just said made sense. But in my head, I always assumed it had to be a tackle because, dude, you out there on an island. These dudes are freaks.
Yeah. But
Daniil Hunter's out here doing the fuck pro hop 360.
Euro step,
hop swim. I mean, it definitely get hard out there, when you playing tackle, just because those guys maybe running like a 4.4, 4.5. They tall, they lean, they fast, they strong, and all that good stuff. It honestly depends. Some teams they slide so much, to where you have help inside. Some teams they lead a left tackle one-on-one. It's just the way the cookie crumble. You get paid the big bucks. You gotta knuckle up, and that's why everything's about timing, But I would say left tackle for sure is the second hardest. But for me, if you don't get that ball to the quarterback, it really don't matter what happens after that. But yes, I agree. It's some freaks coming off that edge.
You know what's so crazy, and I'm sorry, sometimes we have to make it about the Dolphins, and I do apologize. But you know what's so fucked up is that McDaniel tried an experiment with Connor Williams, who never snapped the ball, in a wide zone scheme, asking him to perfect the snap as well as moving in a wide zone scheme. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. It's even harder to snap the ball and go
and climb into a 2-eye with a combo. Like, that's just not easy.
It's not easy, but it's hard to snap the ball and while you're going left, because if you're a right-handed center and you snap that ball and you're trying to step, sometimes your arm don't clear, or sometimes the quarterback ain't all the way under there, or if it's wide zone from a shotgun, you might be a little here, So it gets tricky, man. That wide zone is tricky for centers. You have to be a perfectionist.
And I don't know if you know, but that's what the Dolphins are running right now. And I think this is going to be year 3. And I feel like in year 3, the offensive linemen will really, really understand it now. And they'll understand the movement of it. And I'm hoping we see that progression as fans.
Maybe. I hope so.
I hope so, bro. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. I had one of those aha moments.
Yeah.
Speaking of moments, though, bro, what was your welcome to the league moment? You got to have a story for the welcome to the league moment. It could have been practice.
Keep it real.
As far as what? I mean, welcome to the league moment. Who was it, man? It's probably been like 1 or 2, maybe 3. But I think it was like my second year or something like that. And, being a guard, I never thought that I would block a defensive end. And so, I think Tyrod Taylor might have been the quarterback at the time. And so I'm looking over there. I say, okay, we sliding right. I said he's not gonna come because it wasn't no exterior threat. No signs that he was gonna come underneath. And so I took my set. I'm looking. And sure enough, Von Miller fucking coming at me hard. Pause. And so, I had my hands up. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And so, bro, when I tell you, I looked over and he was gone. Like, he was past my shoulder that fast. And I reached and tried to grab him. I seen the ref. He fucking threw that flag. They threw the holding. I'm like, damn. Like, yeah, these motherfuckers is different. And I think another one, man. We was on the road. I was playing Aaron Donald.
Oh Lord.
Right, that's what the fuck I said.
Go ahead.
But this was my rookie year. I think at the time Aaron Donald, he was probably maybe a second, third year guy, because he came out like maybe a couple years before me, and You know, I'm sitting there, I take my stance, and I'm blocking. I'm thinking I'm doing a good job. And bro, I said, what the fuck? So center came and hit him. And so we walking back to the line. No, he like, yeah, don't fucking help him. Don't fucking help him. Let him be a man. I was like, bro, this shit is wild. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, so those two was probably one. But yeah, Aaron Donald probably I don't know.
Bro, like that week leading up to Aaron Donald, you're just like, man,
it was crazy. I'm out to practice 20, 30 minutes out to practice, making sure my shit right. Yeah, you got it, bro. I watched countless hours of film, just like, hold on, what the fuck did he do? Shit, let me see. Damn, I was like, I don't want to be that motherfucker right there. So I was trying to. It's hard to even find. So when you watching film, you breaking it down. They have like some good plays, which is kind of like they highlights. Like they got to have it, like, you know, crunch time. What kind of moves they gonna go through? And then there's a section in there that say, you know, these where somebody caught them slipping. These are good sets that you can take to get some, you know, kind of somebody doing it somewhat decent, you know. But it was never perfect because he don't let you get your hands on them. So I would watch some of that tape and try not to be that guy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Somebody put in the chat, one of our guards, Liam Eichenberg, they said he's still having welcome to the league moments 5 years in. There he is, 4 years in.
That's rough.
It's a tough position, man. It's a tough position,
man. It's crazy.
And like Joe Robbie said, like, I feel like, obviously, you know, all the salaries are getting inflated. You know, the salaries are always going to go up year to year to year. It's always going to go up. But I feel like the guard position is just, you can't find one if you need one. Like if two guards go down on the same team, you can't go find it. You can't just go get a guard. Like, you can't do it.
Mm-mm.
You can't do it these days.
No, not these days. It's hard. You know, the game's just too demanding, man. It's mentally and physically, it's hard to go out there. You know, especially you try to find somebody, you know, off the couch. You know, man, you know, we're gonna go out there with that. You know,
unfortunately for the Miami Dolphins, the last, I'd say 5 seasons, especially the last 2, we haven't been the healthiest team at in December and January. So we know a lot about getting guys just who haven't been on the field in a couple of years. So it is tough, man. It's a thin position, and that salary is going to keep going up. But appreciate, like, shedding the light on, you know, how difficult that offensive line is. You know, I feel like it doesn't, you know, I know I don't know if it offends you, but they don't call the offensive line skill position. And it's like, come on, man. Come on. You got to call it a skill position.
Maybe it's not a skill position, man. You don't score touchdowns. You don't catch the ball. You just in the trenches, man. You're on the front line.
Yeah. It's different, bro. It's different.
It's different. Yeah. I'll take no offense to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's what's the saying for old linemen is if you hear your name being called, you're fucking up.
You're fucking up.
Yeah. That's just how it goes, bro. So hold on. You play with Cincy, and you also play with the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of the 3 cities I won't even count Jacksonville. Which one of the 3 cities were your favorite to live in?
To live in, I would probably say Charlotte, but my favorite city to play in as far as the team, hands down, Buffalo was the best experience.
They got the fans, man.
The fans is crazy out there, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
Well, it's kind of like the Green Bay Packers effect that, you know, I go up to Buffalo and I go to those games. I've been going there since I was a child. And on Sunday, you don't get to you're not going to the beach in January. You're not going to the club. You're not going to Live. You're not going to 11. What you can do in that town is go watch the football game. That's what you're going to do.
Yep.
You know,
we had Jonnu Smith on last offseason, and he cooked Buffalo. He said, like, bro, could you imagine going from anywhere in the world and getting drafted and having to go to Buffalo? He's like, man, that's gotta be the worst. He's like, and the wings ain't even that good.
Wow,
that was a take.
Crazy. I think I heard that. Yeah, the Bills. One thing about Bills Mafia, man, they take it to heart. They take it to heart.
They did.
They passionate fans, man, for sure.
And the worst part is, I like the wings up there. I love going to Bar Bill.
I love
get a nice blue light and you know, some beef on weck. and
Yes,
get
sir.
some hot honey garlic.
There you go.
Sit
Ranch
there.
or blue cheese. What you feeling, Ghost?
There's only one answer. It's blue cheese, man. There's only one answer.
There you go. It is a dope. Now you mentioned barbells. That's fire. I would say that's number 2 though. You know, if you ever there, you gotta try out wing nuts.
Heard wing nuts.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
Bro, listen, I was there. I was there when they played who they played. They was playing Denver in the playoffs, and I was there. I was freezing my fucking balls off. And I was there because I had hosted one of the tailgates that my guy had invited me to and everything like that. And I looked over there. I said, "Man, I'm starving." They hit this big ass tent, and I see all this traffic. Like everybody's hovering over there. I say, "What's going on?" And so I met the owner. He's a cool guy. He's like, "Yeah, just help yourself." I said, "Which one of these wings, your favorite?" He was like, "This one got my secret sauce." It's like, okay. Man, I bit into that chicken. Boy, listen, that was the best wing I had ever tasted in my life. I shit you not. And so for me, barbells is number 2, and wing nuts number 1 for sure.
We hear that, and then we heard do I have it right? 9/11, that club.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Top 2.
Okay.
Wing nuts, barbells. Don't even go.
What about
bar? Nah.
Yeah.
What about Room 40?
I don't think I've been there.
Bro, by the way, shout out Billy's Tavern, the best wings in South Florida.
That's the closest. Boy. That's the closest. Like I said, when I flew down there, I go down to Billy's. Joe Robbie showed me the light, and that's the closest you can get to Buffalo barbell wings in Davie.
Yeah,
swear to God, man.
That's about.
They got some good stuff.
Yeah, them boys took me to Billy's for the first time, and that was the first time I ever had blue cheese. And I ain't never went back from blue cheese since.
I told you, there's only one answer, man.
Listen, I'm changing lives one day at a time, John. I'm trying out here. I'm doing my best.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Listen, if you eat wings with the ranch, bro, you don't belong on my host panel.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Hey, I'm not saying there's no room for ranch in this world. I am not saying that. I love all sauces. Let's just pause. But this is the way.
That was heavy.
Yeah, that was bad. That was pretty bad. I don't know if I'll ever recover from that one. But with that being said, there is a place in this world for ranch. It's just not on wings. It's just that fair.
What, like celery and carrots or some shit? What we talking about?
I don't know what the place is, but there is a place.
Pizza?
Maybe some corn nuggets.
Okay, maybe some cheese curds or some shit.
Yeah, some cheese curds in Wisconsin. Yeah, there we go.
Cheese curds and the caramel dip though.
I had some honky shit there, but you're gonna have to
talk
about it. You're gonna have to talk about
That's just normal.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You can get that at Buffalo Wild Wings. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings, say, "Let me get the cheese curds with the caramel dip."
First of all, never go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Second of all,
better off going to Flanagan's, bro.
Flanagan's is busting.
Buffalo Wild Wings. I thought they closed all those.
Yeah, we don't really have those down here. Bobby don't know food. He lives in Louisiana.
He's got the chains. He's got the chains down there.
Listen, if we gotta ask about crawfish, I'll DM you, dog. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's it. Jambalaya or some shit.
And yeah, that's it. Some beignets and shit.
Beignets.
I don't even like beignets, really. Overrated. Overrated.
All right, fine. Stop yelling at us. Jesus.
Chris said in the chat that there is a place for ranch and it goes on pizza or pepperoni pizza. I agree with that. I'll take ranch.
I'm okay with that.
I'll take ranch on pizza, but
yeah,
we've all on how high I am, but other than that, like we're good.
You fuck with other than that?
Yeah.
What y'all think about putting pineapple on pizza? Whatever.
I'm okay with it, and I'm Italian. I'll crush that shit.
Yeah.
That's what's glad to hear.
Listen, all pizza is good pizza, bro. I'll always be a fat boy at heart. It is what it is.
Perhaps.
Yes.
And those rib rolls from Flanagan's will change your life. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Oh yeah, Flanagan's is good. I went to Flanagan's.
And it comes with ranch. And there we go. That's the perfect time for ranch.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. That's it. Done and done.
Yeah, there's place for it. Just not on my wings or anywhere near my wing plate.
I will say this though, as someone who didn't have blue cheese before that, like everywhere doesn't have blue cheese like I like. So like it doesn't carry everywhere. Like they had real blue cheese down there. And I was like, okay, I've never had this. I guess I got the craft out the bottle shit my whole life.
Yeah,
I've
because
never
you're going
liked
to fucking Buffalo Wild Wings, dog.
Yeah, don't
Like,
go
what are
there.
you doing?
Don't go there. I would say if you guys ever had the lemon pepper from Wingstop, dip that shit in some ranch. They ranch top tier.
Rick
No, but
Ross,
again,
man.
lemon
They
pepper.
range
All right,
different, bro.
lemon
They
pepper
range
wings belong
different.
already. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. At that point, I'm satisfied. I can take that. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay,
they
that's
range
fair.
different.
That's fair.
They hit different.
Maybe even at Tootsie's. I've never been there. That's what I've heard. I'm not sure.
Ooh, come on,
But
man.
I've heard the wings are actually really fucking good. That's what I've heard from my friends.
No, I would say it's legit. Yeah, I would say it's legit. Tootsie got some good food, man. So, like,
Sheesh, they really do, bro. Like it's funny enough. They really do.
it's a
Listen,
good time.
in Miami, when you get out the club 2-3 in the morning and you want good food, you don't always gotta go to Tootsie's just for a lap. You could literally go. I mean, there's gonna be beautiful women there, but you can go eat.
You can go eat.
Go
Yeah,
eat
you
some
get the
food.
grub on.
I know it
Get
sounds
them
funny,
wings.
but it's dead ass serious.
Nah, for sure.
Oof. So, John, what's your drink of choice, liquor wise?
Honestly, bro, I probably just get some tequila, man. You know, I like nowadays. I like to keep it light. You know, when I was in Kentucky, you know, it was always bourbon. But you know, right now, give me some tequila, and I'm good. I would prefer to take a shot rather than a lot of mixed drinks. I don't drink soda, so it's hard to kind of miss it. If I do miss it, maybe some tonic water, pineapple juice, cranberry, maybe squeeze a lime or something in there.
Yeah.
I'm more of a beer drinker, man.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's almost like I feel like it's a South Florida thing, the tequila vibe.
Yeah,
We all drink the same shit: tequila soda, tequila shots. Like we don't really, you're not getting a rum and coke down here.
nah. And then I had to graduate from the Henny. You know, the hen dog it did me good.
Brother, let me
But
tell you something. One of my best friends brought the
drink that
Henny
shit
over for my
anymore.
reveal. I was FaceTiming Bobby like crazy, bro. Hey,
Bad times on that hen dog.
Hey, when I start getting those
Girl, man, what's
FaceTimes
good?
about 10 p.m. from Joe, it's like, damn, kids go to the other room.
He got
I had to walk outside and let him get it off his chest.
yeah, nah, definitely don't drink that shit.
Hey, the thing is too, like when you ain't drinking and somebody is like on that level, like it's really hard to be there for him. Yeah, I wanted to be there for him. He just found out he's having a girl, but like, man, when you're sober and somebody's coming at you like 10 shots deep, it's like, all right, bro.
Right.
And that Henny personality is different, Bobby.
Yeah, I ain't never drank no Henny.
There's like there's a tequila.
No.
There's a tequila vibe. There's a Henny bourbon vibe. I'll put bourbon in that same category.
Mhm.
There's the vodka night, which who drinks vodka anyways?
That was young shit. You get some cheap vodka and just get crazy.
And I never met somebody who actually drinks gin ever.
Gin and tonics, boy.
Who the hell drinks that?
Gin and orange juice. man.
Women, rich white people.
The old heads used to drink that shit.
Ooh,
Yeah, Snoop
That's
Dogg,
rough.
boy.
The old heads love that gin and juice, man. I'm telling you. Yes,
It's
sir.
real.
Yeah, Eric. Of course, Eric drinks gin.
Of course he does.
Eric backstage just commented, "I drink gin."
There you go.
I never trusted him, to be honest. Hey, Karen, you drink everything.
Yeah, Karen's got to get on here and show us really how to drink because I feel like she could put them away, man.
Dude,
that's
the
so good.
only experience I ever had. So when I was like 21, we first started going out, drinking and whatnot. I remember we went out for my buddy's birthday party. There was this dude sitting at the bar, and he was drinking double Hennies, and they brought it to him in a wine glass. I don't know if that's like normal or like what. But he was getting like double shots of Henny, and bro, all I remember is he sat in that chair like all night. He didn't move. Well, that's because he couldn't. when he finally decided he was gonna go get his Uber, he stood up, threw up everywhere, and just fell right into it.
Oh no!
And I was like, all right, so I won't be messing with that.
Ooh. Nah, my only no-go zone is Jaeger.
Dude, I had to run with Jaeger, man. Jaeger bombs, dude. I had to run with that.
Of course you would. Bobby on Jaeger bombs is a scary sight, probably.
Nope.
Hey, I know you had to do the Jaeger bombs. You're in Jersey, dude. That's why that got
Of
popular.
course, dude. Yeah, I mean, we
Fucking
bomb
Jaeger
everything.
bombs.
Bomb everything.
Jaeger bombs for me.
Yeah, nope, not happening.
I don't like that licorice taste. It's got all the
No,
herbs,
thank you,
and
bro.
licorice and all that. Hell no.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I like beer though. I'm a big beer guy. I like beer.
I can't drink it.
Beer and
Believe it
red
or not,
wine.
I was over Nick Hicks' house on Sunday, and he's a big beer drinker. So his outdoor fridge got all the IPAs and triple sour this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just found out I'm a father. We're drinking nice. He's like, "You want a beer, brother?" And I'm like, "You know what? Fuck it, I'll have a beer." He's like, "Man, try this. This triple sour is delicious." Bro, I opened this beer. I took a sip. I spit it out so fast, bro. I said, "My brother, give me a Bud Light or something. I can't do this. Bro, my face was like when a baby tries a lemon for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. Yeah, I am not a beer drinker, bro. He's like, "Yeah, no, it's at triple the hops. It's 9.5 ABV." I'm like, "Bro, I don't know what you're talking about right now."
I'm not a big fan of sours, man.
I can't do it.
Not a big sours guy.
Just give me a shot of tequila, man. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it rolling,
Keep it
boys.
simple, man. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, man.
Amigos, little 42.
Yeah, like come on, let's just vibe out.
Yeah, because that's what the women want anyway. They want some tequila.
I mean, listen.
They don't know nothing about no bourbon and scotch and
0%.
tequila and red wine. That's it. maybe some white wine.
The Sauvignon Blanc.
Tequila, that's all. That's it. There you go. Easy.
It's funny. My wife just be hitting that she just be hitting that vodka and soda.
That's a girl move. Yeah.
Yeah, vodka and carbonated water, vodka and cranberry juice. Like that's pretty much her go-to.
Keep them calories light, man.
Yeah, you gotta,
You know, it's so crazy. My wife, first date, I used to drink Jack or Johnny Walker Black Label. So it's our first date. We go get some sushi. Then I take her to this place called Cowboys, which used to be like a line dancing bar, but with a sick bar and shit. It was like only bar you can go to in Davie. So we go there. I go, "What do you want to drink?" She goes, "I'll drink what you drink." I said, "You sure?" She said, "Yeah, I'm sure." I ordered 2 Johnny Walker Blacks on the rocks. It wasn't until maybe about 3 years ago she told me she drank that with me for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, bro. Never said a damn thing. About 3 years ago, she goes, "You know how much I fucking hated drinking Johnny Walker Black with you?" I said, "What the fuck?" She said, "Listen, I committed. I said I drink what you drink, and I didn't know how to get out of that till I was comfortable enough."
There you go.
I said, "Damn, I'm married this girl."
There you go.
Yeah, she got me. Hook, line, and sinker.
Congratulations on the baby girl too, man. How old is she?
No, so we just found out the gender this weekend, bro.
Okay,
so yeah, not there yet, but your boy's ready.
You got a due date?
December 6th.
December 6th. Okay, right before Christmas. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Oh,
bro,
dude, that's me and my wife's original anniversary.
There you go.
That's crazy. And it's my wife's birthday is the 20th, so I got a lot of work in December.
A lot of work.
Yeah, I gotta sell some glass. Like, I need to talk to you about those 4 houses you're building because I need to work.
Hey, man. Let's run it, man. Give me a good deal on it, man.
Yeah, you know I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Because Daddy's gonna be needing some money in December.
Especially in December. Then you got New Year's right after that.
I got 2 birthdays and Christmas. Hey, listen, I might get deported on my own. So, bro, what was as a guard, what was your least favorite thing about playing guard?
My least favorite thing, I would honestly probably say screens. You know, because you got to have the right timing And then you get out there, and 9 times out of 10, you either on a linebacker or a cornerback or something like that. You know, you get out there and they hit you with one of these, and you just fall over yourself, and you don't make the block, or you trying to line them up, and then the running back go a different way, and you just look like a dumbass, and they're like, fucking block, you gotta block some fucking body. And then you roll the tape back, you know, the next day is like, bro, how am I gonna block this guy? He's cutting back too soon. He got to set my block up, you know. So that was, you know, playing in space on them screens against, you know, those quick linebackers and cornerbacks. That was, I ain't really want to get now pulling like if I'm pulling down the line or, you know, kick out a DN or pulling on a power scheme, you know, it's just me and that Mike linebacker. I'm cool with that. But out in space against the little quick guys, you never know if they're gonna stay up. You know, most of them they just gonna chop your legs and just like, all right, let me fall on top of them. You know what I'm saying, Paul? Yeah. So that was probably my least favorite for sure.
And was there a running back that actually set up the screens nice for you?
I would say Shady. Shady was he was.
Well, that dude was a screen monster.
Yeah, he was nice. He would give you crazy work. As he say, I gave you crazy work. Yeah, nah, Shady was nice. He was an all around guy. You know, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer for sure. He was nasty with it.
Shout out to the Beep.
Shout out to Beep. Yeah.
It's been a time. Appreciate you coming through, John.
Sure.
You're obviously welcome here whenever you got time, man. It was cool to hear a different perspective, you know, hear some of the ins and outs of being an offensive lineman, stuff we don't see every day, you know, when we're on our couch eating chips, talking shit about, you know, old boy getting blown through balls.
Whoa. Yo, you a wild boy for that one, man.
Hey, you saved me because that was the worst pause of the night.
Yeah, that was a definitely pause.
No Diddy, man.
Damn, no Diddy. But yeah, thank you for coming through, man. It was a pleasure to meet you finally.
Yes, sir.
All good things from Joe and Nick about you, man. So good to meet you.
Likewise, I appreciate you boys having me.
Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one.
All right, boys.